Wow, what a nice day. I love the sky in England. And I've been able to look at the sky all morning. The Egyptian refugee got up, did the dishes, did the laundry, made the beds, cooked breakfast, took a shower, and now she's driving the boat. Hasn't hit anything yet, and I'm pretty happy. And we're looking for a place to put up art bombing. England's just a wonderful place. Seems like there's always a breeze here. I'll bet their wind generation is probably good. We were coming down the Grand Union Canal today, and we saw a church and thought, oh, that's a fascinating looking church. We'll moor up here and come up across this bridge and walk into Grafton Regis to see this old church. England is full of little villages. And we're on our way into Grafton Regis. And it's all uphill. This is near Grafton Regis. It's actually on the edge of town. And this is their view. An incredible view of the English countryside. Sheep and rolled hay and more sheep as far as you can see.
Yeah. Diana, tell me a little bit about the history of this church. It looks different to some of the others that I've seen.
Well, it's quite traditional for the area, but the history is quite interesting because this is where Edward IV married Elizabeth Woodville, not in this church but in this village. But Elizabeth grew up here and her family are buried in the church.
Oh, wow.
And through her, this village became part of the royal possessions. And so that's why the village has Regis on the end of its name.
This is Grafton Regis,
so it's Grafton Regis. And it became, later on, it became Henry VIII's favourite hunting lodge. And it was here at the manor when Cardinal Wolsey came to tell him he couldn't have his divorce from Anne Boleyn.
Yes.
From that it stayed in the royal domain until Charles II, who gave it to his one of his illegitimate children.
Wow, it's absolutely gorgeous. And will I find more history on the inside?
You'll find lots of history on the
open
inside.
Today.
It should be open right
fantastic.
now, and hopefully you will find it all in there.
Fantastic. Well, I noticed that the stone is yellowish in color. We like this very much.
Well, it's local stone. There is a quarry about 2 villages away called Perry End, where a lot of the stone is mined, not mined, but quarried.
Yes.
And then the whole geology changes a bit further north of here, and you get more ironstone in it, and so the stone
is a different color.
Turns a different color. It turns redder and darker. But it's
That's
very
gorgeous.
mellow, this stone, but it's quite soft.
Diana also told me that this is very similar to the kind of stone used in the Cotswolds, and
it's a very similar color, yes.
Yes, exactly. I'm kind of familiar with the way the cottages look there, so that's just gorgeous. This is the tomb of John Woodville, who was father to Elizabeth Woodville, who ended up marrying Edward IV. And it was her 2 sons with Edward IV who ended up being the 2 princes in the Tower that Richard III was supposed to have ordered killed.
This is the church, Mary the Virgin, in the village of Grafton Regis. The area was given to William the Conqueror's half-brother in 1066. And then in 1400, Sir John Woodville built the tower for this church. Look at the wear on this step. That's been there 400, 500 years. And it's the step into the church of St. Mary the Virgin in Grafton Regis.
English history is so incredible and it is so connected. It is in this parish that Elizabeth Woodville, whose father John Woodville built the tower on this church, married Edward IV, and it was their two sons that were the princes in the tower that Richard III was accused of having killed. That's the connection in so much of this English history that we're seeing. It's very amazing.
Here's a list of characters for Grafton Regis. It's Sir John Woodville and Elizabeth Woodville, who marries King Edward IV. They have the two kids in the tower, and then King Richard becomes dead by Henry Tudor, and he becomes Henry VII, Henry VIII, Cardinal Wolsey, and Henry VIII. And that's the end of my story, Your Honor, and I'm sticking to it.